Hey everybody, it's Ray, otherwise known as Life and Vibe. And hi everyone, I'm going to connect to the chat. Not sure how many people I have here this evening because I never can see the count on OneStream Live. So yeah, if you do happen to be here, I do appreciate it. And if you're not, I understand because it's kind of a tough topic here this evening that we're going to be having. And so yeah, let me see if I can see all the chat. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, chat is now open to everyone. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, feel free to chat. And if you want to feel free to, to have a thought on the topic, then please go ahead. I appreciate it, and I appreciate it if you're all joining me. Probably not many people joining me tonight, but that's okay. So yeah, I've had a long thought about this one. Really a lot to do with the fact that obviously I am a pediatric RN. I am somebody who has worked with victims of SA and have worked as a volunteer for crisis hotlines and have had the experience of having to work with hey Bernard, hey, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate you being here. Don't know how many people are watching, but I do certainly appreciate it. Obviously I'm kind of just felt like I have a platform. I'm a woman, and I was just really kind of taken aback to hear two women speaking this way. And this is not an easy one for me to come out in here because it's not a political conversation. I think this is really a conversation around what is something that we're going to be okay with. And I don't think this is okay. And I believe that many states, I'm going to try to use language that is as appropriate for YouTube as possible, obviously. And I just think it's really, I think a lot of people have been quite horrified. I think part of why I feel kind of like just surprised by this is this person, Megyn Kelly, is an attorney by her trade. She went to law school, to Albany Law School, and is an attorney. So is perfectly aware of the law. Secondly, it sounds like a lot of gossip. And I am going to play the podcast that comes from SiriusXM. And that's who is platforming Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly just recently signed, that's my puppies playing in the background, a contract with SiriusXM that is anywhere from $15 to $20 million. And so I just, as a female, I just find it really fascinating. Hey, yeah, hi. Yeah, thank you for coming in. What a nice surprise. You've just flashed up on your phone. You saw the interview. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for saying, yeah, I just thank you. And yeah, Bernard, come on in. I finally realized I could show this on OneStream Live. So yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. And it's kind of a tough topic. And I do have the video to play. And yes, those are my dogs that are fighting in the background. Yeah, guys, that's great. So I was just saying, in fact, obviously I'm an RN. I've seen children who have been abused by adults in the hospital setting. Obviously, it's horrific to see. I also worked as somebody who manned a hotline for victims, any age, any gender, any persuasion. It didn't matter. It was with the YWCA, and it was a crisis line. And I did work as a volunteer for that line for many a year, and also participated in having to call hospitals in order to let them know that these victims were going to the hospital in order to have the kits, obviously, to be getting any evidence that was needed in order to doing any cases. And so people that would call us could be people that had experienced something from years in the past, and we're needing to talk about it at that time, whether it didn't matter. If you were manning the hotline, you were there for these folks. And if you were, or it could be somebody who had just experienced something and was needing to get something at the hospital done. So yeah, you didn't get any notification at all. Hey, Gen X, you just found this accidentally. Well, I'm glad you found it. I actually did post it. So I don't know. We could have a conspiracy that Google is trying not to have any of this stuff shown in the feeds. But I so appreciate you joining me. Yeah, we are going to watch the video. And I was supposed to do schoolwork tonight. I was so sort of taken aback that a female with such a large platform and one who herself had gone through what she went through with Robert Ailes. Ailes, is it Robert? I know it was Ailes, Roger Ailes, sorry. May he rest his bones where we believe he probably is. Yeah, hey, come on in. The Republicans are now trying to know. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. And I think we need to just, if we do have platforms, we need to say where things don't feel good. And I personally don't feel good with trying to return to trying to normalize 15-year-old girls and old men. I just really am not in that place anymore. Maybe some of you, just like me, grew up at a time where, sadly, especially in the UK, and this is not something I like, these, they used to try to normalize it back in the day somewhat, especially with rock stars and really, young girls. It's not normal, and it's damaging to these girls. These girls are unable to consent. I mean, they don't even have fully developed frontal lobes until they're 24, 25 years old. So I don't understand. Anyway, I don't want to get political, but I don't. Obviously, the name of the podcast, came in with trying to slander a political party, and then they go off into this topic, and it's two women. And I think as women, we need to, if we have any type of platforms, I think we need to be letting people know this isn't right, especially if you have daughters. And it shocks me that Megyn Kelly has a daughter who is 14 years old. Because to be honest, I don't think she would leave her daughter alone with any of these men in a room, to be honest. And the fact that she's gossiping is terrible. Anyway, before we get started, I thought Jimmy Savile, oh my gosh, it's so many of them. It's so many. And then here in the US, all the Hollywood types. It's just, and I'm tired of the normalization of it. But I thought I'd share something. Hey, come on in. Hey, come on in. Hey, come on in. I had a client who was charged against, I have to be obviously for YouTube, ER staff saw between the curtain as it was catheterizing. Oh my God, he thought they were committing SA. Oh no. No, you're not blocked. Hey, Darren, come back in. You wouldn't be blocked. Darren, I agree. Obviously, my politics obviously is probably more woke than most people realize. That's why Sarasota Tim also has a lot to answer for. So no, you're not blocked, Darren. You wouldn't be blocked. Not in this topic. That's me. Okay. Do I look old? Look how mature I look. Do you see that face of maturity there? Do you see that maturity? Thought who's protecting the little boy. Oh, that's sad. Yeah. You would hope in a hospital situation they would be aware. But maybe if the parent wasn't in the room, I'm not sure. No, you're fine, Darren. Come on in. No, nothing like that. I promise you, not here. So, guess how old I was in this picture? Guess how old? This. Look how old. Does anyone want to drop it in the chat? If you see this picture, I don't know how I'm delayed or not. How old was I in this picture? How mature was I in that picture? I think all of us women should be posting on social media, and men, because, you know, men get victimized too, believe it or not. Our pictures when we were 15. Yeah, a grown woman. No, I didn't. I didn't even want to kiss boys. So no, I didn't think I was a grown woman at all. Not a grown woman at all. Not a grown woman. Not a grown woman. 14. 14. No, I was 15. Don't I look legal? Don't I look legal at 15? That's 15 years old. That was me at 15. But I guess if I pass the street, believe it or not, I will tell a story. I was allowed to, well, I wasn't allowed, but I was able to buy alcohol in off licenses in the UK. That young looking in that outfit probably walked in. 15. I was 15. I just had my 15th birthday. 15. This is 15. This is 15. Hashtag 15. Yeah, cute. Exactly. Hey. Yeah, but cute. And so we're going to listen to these folks describe how at that age we should be okay with all girls being out with grown men. And yeah, I don't think I'm okay with it. And I'm not okay with Sirius either platforming this individual and paying this person $15 to $20 million. $15 to $20 million. She just got a brand new contract with SiriusXM. Signed it on October the 25th. If anybody has SiriusXM and finds it particularly insulting that their money is going for this person who's going to try to explain to us how 15-year-olds can give consent, then, you know, I just can't. There's two of them. We're going to have her take it away where her guest comes in. Oh my goodness. Should be the face of shame, but this person has no shame. And they have no shame. She will be back at work tomorrow on her SiriusXM podcast as part of the Handmaiden's Tale, and she's now known as Megyn R. Kelly. Has now been her rechristened name is Megyn R. Kelly, and she is the tutor of just some really bad stuff. And you can slander, well, try to be polite. But if you want to go off about this person in my chat, have at it.
Channel 111. Back with me now, Batya Ungar-Sargon. She's host of Batya on News Nation. All right, so there is a hero in the news. She's been amazing, this gal, and she is not effing around. Her name is Tish Hyman, and she is an...
Sorry, I forget for some reason if I have to stop it to come over here in order to look at the chat. So while I'm playing the video, I can't see the chat, sadly. So I'm glad that Angel is here. Hey, Angel, and that and I'm also going to leave a link in the description for donating to the crisis hotline that I used to work for at the WCA of Southampton Roads. So if you actually, yeah, she is very nasty. Yeah, I agree. And I'm okay with saying Megyn Kelly's nasty. This is why you know what? I have a tiny platform. She has 4 million subscribers on YouTube. 4 million people are still subscribed to this person. 4 million people. And I'm not okay with this. And yeah, she sold her soul. And of course, the price tag for that salary. Yeah, it's $15 to $20 million with a brand new SiriusXM contract that she just got. She just signed this contract. Nobody knows exactly, but the estimates that I've heard of $15 to $20 million that Megyn Kelly just got. And then one of the first shows she puts out is Dims try to smear Trumpster with his Epstein emails and culture shift right with this lady Botcha, and I'm not going to destroy her name. I'll let her destroy her reputation by herself, because and then I mean she's out with her and I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic at all, but she has her Star of David on, which is I'm surprised Megyn not wearing the cross at the same time, so they could both be wearing their religious pieces. And I don't want to use the wrong terms because I'm just not a religious person as much as I used to be, and I don't want to be offensive, but I think it's ironic that you would be wearing a religious artifact, there we go, and then espousing the things that these women go on to say. I find it really, really just absolutely horrific, and I just can't, and I just don't want to live in a world where we normalize this. I just don't. I don't want to. I don't want to. That's what I do. You don't like her? You don't like her? I don't like her either. I don't like her. You never did? No, I've never been a fan of Megyn Kelly either. I feel that these types of women, she's an attorney. That was her background. Shocking. Yes. Yeah, done to this country of ours. It's really sad. Yeah, I really do feel like it's getting some bad vibes, these people. I agree. Yes, I really do. And just making it so somebody with the platform this large, shame on you, SiriusXM, would be wanting to, because I have a feeling the person that she's referring to, who was close to this person, who said for years that no, they're not a PDF. I'm going to have to use language that's YouTube approved. That obviously, make sure if you do like this stream, hit the like so we can get this message out here. It's solitary normalization. Yeah, she's got these two women are living proof of internalized misogyny. Internalized misogyny. That's what they are. They are internalized misogyny. Internalized. That's what they are. Because girls, it's not a long interview. Let's take it away, ladies. Let's find out what we don't want to be teaching our daughters. Megyn, shame on you. You have a daughter who's 14 years old. I will not show a picture of her daughter. And I am not obviously inciting for anybody to, bully Megyn Kelly. All right. No, that's a lie. You can bully Megyn Kelly. She's a bully.
Out lesbian. She is a Black woman. She lives in California, and she is the one who got kicked out of Gold's Gym, her gym, last week because she objected to a very problematic male pretending to be a woman.
Oh, no, Megyn, not that chat. All right, let's move Megyn along. She's definitely on a, this is the culture wars that these people want to live in. Let's talk about this. And I'm not a political person, okay? But I'm a regular adult, and I see how they try to fool people who are not educated about these topics. Come on, guys. You know what you're trying to do. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist either, but I think there's a lot of Andrew doesn't even have his title anymore. Okay. And the royal family doesn't just take a title away without a great deal of evidence. So I would assume that there's something there. I mean, there's one lady already supposedly was sitting in a jail somewhere or a prison, and now she's in the, fed, the what do they call that, Club Fed? The Club Fed with the puppies and the massages and all the toilet paper she wants.
her locker room. Goltz handled it all the wrong way.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
no, Megyn, I'm not letting you get a platform on this. Okay. Sorry. I thought they went straight into the other conversation. I didn't realize we had to have all this conversation. Oh, let me get past this. Okay. Let me get her on to the next topic. Oh, Megyn. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize she was off.
Are undermining their youth. They're trying to convert little gay boys in.
Okay. So Megyn is, background here. Megyn is obviously all upset about what's happening to our children here in the United States. She's very offended as to what's happening to the children. She doesn't think about the children who may be also having issues around gender dysmorphia. No. Terrible. She's just off on a tirade, but she's going to defend dirty old men. So let me see where she does that. Paul, hold on, guys.
And in some cases, sexually assaulted by these perverted men pretending to be us in order, in many cases, to gain access to us in vulnerable spaces.
Okay. Megyn, am I understanding this clearly? Okay, so you're trying to say that, and I don't know if people caught this part, that she's trying to talk about protecting children, and then she goes on to have this other conversation with this lady. So it seems like she's what's that word that they call her? Oh yeah, a hypocrite.
This clip was so therapeutic to watch because it played out exactly as you would have wanted it to, right? At every step, she just spoke the truth, and everybody around her trying to gasp.
I'm not sure who this other lady is, but she freaking me out. Okay, let me speed him along.
That I am oppressed and marginalized. So when I tell you that these trans
they're shouting about trans people. Oh Lord. Okay.
guys, you cannot tell a nation they have to pretend. You cannot tell a nation that they have to force their daughters into this. And I have to say, I had a very
Hold on, let me double check and see where they had the Epstein conversation. Let me do a word search because maybe I sped it along. Let me double check. So it's good to know that they have this conversation at this time. So let me find where the point where maybe it's right at the start of it. Hold on, maybe it's right here. Hold on, maybe it's this part. Hold on, let me try it here. I just saw that. I know it's this lady. Hold on, let me see. Maybe it's the first thing they talk about.
During critical times in Epstein's life. We'll get to the other two. But as for this one, in 2011, she says it was written when the FBI was beginning to suspect that the crimes Epstein committed in Florida.
Oh, I did want to say this is for education, informational purposes only. And all the things that are being said in this video are my opinion only. I know you have a background as an attorney, Megyn, but don't sue me. Okay, so I think it's good to know that they have this conversation, and then later on in the podcast, Megyn gets indignated that children, that there's trans children that may have to share bathrooms because she wants to protect her children from these people. Doesn't make sense. Can you make it make sense, Megyn? You sound like a hypocrite.
Florida in the early 2000s went beyond those he committed in Palm Beach. So that's where it stands now, because they were sniffing around him in 2008. I believe he signed that sweetheart deal in 2009, and then it all came back again in like 2015, leading into 16. Trying to remember when he was first added as having done much, much more. But in any event, the original trouble was 08, 09, and she's pointing out he's cut this deal in Palm Beach. And the FBI by 2011 was starting to suspect that those crimes were just the tip of the iceberg. So what do you make of the redaction of the alleged victim from this very, very damning email, Batya?
It's so hilarious to me because they knew if they left her name in, this would be totally dismissed because she has been revealed to be a serial fabricator who had to.
Don't we just love when Megyn is throwing out the hashtag type symbols here too on the word victim? Don't you just love that? Don't you just love women that do that for other women and another woman just laughing about it. The internalized misogyny. I don't know, who broke these two women, but somebody did, because these are some. So I'm gonna go to the side here. These are some deeply broken women over here. These women deeply broken, deeply broken. It's scary and it's astounding, and the level of just obviously just disgust and disdain they have for anybody who isn't like it's fine. God, where have we got to that other adults feel comfortable having this type of rhetoric? All right, keep going, Megyn.
Literally recant her testimony against Alan Dershowitz. She's made up so many things. Her book was initially supposed to be a novel because so much of it was just absolute.
Are they potentially referring to the 14-year-old girl that was giving Alan Dershowitz massages? Is this the person they're wanting to feel comfortable and trying to lower what age girls are supposed to be around older men? Is this really is this really the hill you ladies are going to die on? It's not a hill I would choose to die on, and I don't mind calling you out for it. I mean, sitting there, really, with your cross, your Star of David on, and saying this stuff. Really? I don't know how these people. I really seriously don't know how these people sleep at night. I seriously don't know how they sleep at night. News Nation host. Oh, God. I have no idea what channel that is.
Fabrications. Unfortunately, she took her own life. It's very sad, obviously very troubled. But the idea that this is somehow like a smoking gun for Trump.
Seriously? This young lady unalived herself, and you're talking in this way, and Megyn giving it the quote signs and everything else? I seriously don't know how these people sleep at night. I
Trump, I think, is so utterly ridiculous. To see the Democrats racing to take the word of an actual pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, just so they can smear Donald Trump. It's just so gross. It's like when they went to the trough of Michael Cohen and elevated him as some sort of truth teller because they thought it would hurt Donald Trump. I just think if this is all they could find in there on Donald Trump and Epstein, Trump is in a really good place. We know that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because he thought he was a creep. So the idea that it's somehow some smoking gun, that he thought.
This is not political. I know they're going to go on to this next part of the conversation. I mean, if this is, if you want to think that the abuse of children is a political issue, have at it, ladies. I don't see it that way. I see it as a moral issue. But if you see it as a political issue, ladies, have at it. Have at it. You are the company that you keep. You understand that. You are the company that you keep. Everything is alleged, in my opinion, only. I think they're referring to potentially. Is that who they potentially referring to? Because she did. Yes. But we know that she obviously was a victim, because she was a victim of Andrew, the no longer the prince. Keep going, ladies.
Thought he was a creep, I think, is so totally ridiculous. The replacement of her name with the word victim tells you everything you need to know. So much of this story is just classic Me Too overreach. There was that ridiculous press conference where they had woman after woman after woman come up and say, I was a Jeffrey Epstein victim. Half of them, Megyn, met Jeffrey Epstein after they were already adults. The idea that they are.
There was a PSA just released today by all of these victims. Some that were 12 or 13 years old. holding the photos. Do you hear these apologists? This is really bad. I'm sorry. Shouldn't be a political issue, ladies. They all victims. Just the way that this is just, to me, absolutely reprehensible. Just listening to her speaking makes me so angry. Um, it's hard not to just, and the fact they're trying to use like political things with it, when this is just basic morality and basic decency. I just can't. This is definitely Megyn R. Kelly over here apologized. This person, the internalized misogyny and what it's just astounding, absolutely astounding to me. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it. Keep going.
Are the victims of pedophilia. It's just, everyone should read Michael Tracy's reporting on this. He's just been absolutely, absolutely great, just holding their feet to the fire. And it's just so funny to see the right running with what is a classic Me Too overreach story, because they thought the Democrats were sort of holding back on them. It turns out they are now. That redaction tells you everything you need to know.
The Virginia Giuffre thing is amazing. That the fact that they redacted that is just incredible to me. First of all, she outed herself as an Epstein victim. Like, you don't have to protect the identity of a victim when she's outed herself as a victim. Like, and they know this rule because I hate to bring her up.
I hate to bring up the fact, Megyn, that you supposedly got a lot of money from Fox News because you were SA'd by Roger Ailes. And this is how you go on to speak about other women. So you're really disgusting, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I just can't. These two women are foul. And I just don't know as women and why we just continue to accept other women who talk and behave this way. I wouldn't. And I wouldn't even want to be polite to them in polite society because I feel like I shouldn't be forced to just because. For what? For what reason? I just can't. And the fact that they're making this so politicized and shaming people who were children. I mean, it's just absolutely foul. And I just feel that anybody who, I just can't. 4 million people subscribe to this. She gets 15. I just cannot. God, please. I just feel like not a political channel, but this is destructive to the mental health of young women. It's really destructive. And somebody who was studying psychiatry, I'm just abhorred by the way these people are speaking. Absolutely, the tone that they have, the just everything. It's just, these are two extremely broken women who I believe should not have any type of platforms. They sound broken. Just broken. And I can't believe this one's a mother. Megyn Kelly's someone's mother. My goodness. God, please, no.
But let's just take Gretchen Carlson, who claims she was a victim of Roger Ailes'. And CNN and the Democrats, they had her testify before Congress. They didn't say, oh, witness in shadow, because she outed herself as an alleged victim. And Virginia Giuffre has been, before she died, all over the news. She wrote a memoir, like she gave tons of interviews. Why would they redact her name if that is in fact the name, as the GOP members of the House Oversight Committee are saying? Given the fact that she'd already...
Megyn, weren't you the one also complaining about Roger Ailes, which is why you lost your job at Fox News? And now you're throwing Gretchen Carlson under the bus too? Girl.
Been outed. So this is ridiculous. And it does suggest there was an ulterior motive. Here's the thing about Virginia Giuffre, and I've said this every time her name has come up since we launched this show in 2020. Right. In 2020, I had...
All right, skip her along a little bit.
The denials that Alan Dershowitz issued to Virginia Giuffre sounded like this. I never slept with her ever anywhere. I never slept with any woman other than...
Why are they apologizing for somebody like Alan Dershowitz? Are you serious, ladies? Alan Dershowitz, of all people, are the hill you're going to go off and die on? Okay. How about it?
My wife ever, anywhere. And there will never be a recording or any proof whatsoever that I did, because I didn't. I am factually innocent of the charges against me. And I demand that she come forward with proof that I was where she says I was on these dates. When she didn't, he produced his own date books showing he couldn't have been in the places she was alleging. And here
this is the hills that Megan's going to go die herself on. Okay, let me see where she gets to the part about the kids.
writes the following email to Sharon Churcher. Hi, Sharon.
All right. Let me see the part where she talks about the 15-year-olds. I should have probably checked the video a little bit better. Hold on, let me see. I think I just have to bring up the transcript. Hold on. No, do I? Yeah. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Here's this transcript. Let me see that part. Let me see. I find it in my transcript. Let me see. I'm trying to speed this along here. Well, it says nothing like that. Okay. Let's try this. So I apologize for this. All right. I'm trying to get rid of some of the parts because I'm just like, oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I thought I had it set up. I didn't realize that. I don't really care about Alan Dershowitz lies, to be perfectly honest. And oh, here we go. Okay, here we are, right here. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, didn't take me long. Okay, all right. Let me check the chat one more time, and then we'll get back into this. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Yeah, if anything, I doubt this is an odd topic. And yeah, I kind of have abandoned, obviously, Sarasota Tim. I probably should have said something coming out. Coming out. Yeah. Fiji's family. Right. I know. Yeah, because she's easy to use. She's also right. I know. It's amazing what people will do how much money did it take for you to sell your soul, Megan? In my opinion, $15 to $20 million on this Sirius podcast, because she'll be on air. SiriusXM has released nothing. They say they like to show opinions on both sides of the aisle. I just don't feel like this is a both sides of the aisle thing. I don't think that this lady is defending Alan Dershowitz. Jesus, Lord of the internal misogyny am I listening to here? Because this is what it is. And any woman who's okay with this, you seriously, you probably need some deep therapy. I'm just saying that as somebody who's studied a lot of psychiatry. And I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. I'm really not okay with this. You know, I remember at 15 how creepy old guys too could be. And it's not cool, man. You know, the power differences, it's absolutely, this is toxic. It's just, I cannot believe these people. All right, we're getting to the hot part of the night and then we'll wrap it up. I just can't. I just had to share this. And Tim supported these people.
And getting busy to meet my deadline. Just wondering if you have information on you from when you and I were doing interviews about the JE story. I wanted to put the names of some of the assholes, I mean to say pedos, that Jeffrey Epstein sent me to. With everything going on, my brain feels like mush, and it would be a great deal of help. Churcher responded, don't forget Alan Dershowitz. We all suspect Alan is a pedo. And though no proof of that, you probably met him when he was hanging out with JE. That is what was behind the Giuffre accusation that ruined Alan's life. People still think he was an Epstein sex trafficker. It's a fucking lie. And while I don't doubt...
My goodness, Miss Megyn, mind your language on my YouTube channel. How does she get to have that language on a YouTube channel and I can't?
Virginia Giuffre that she fell within the crosshairs of Jeffrey Epstein and was used and abused by him because he was a serial user and abuser. I don't believe one word she said about Alan Dershowitz. And she lied repeatedly about the age she was when she had encounters with the Epstein connections and so on. That's all been caught. Like ages she would know that were, because she was off by several years that would have made the difference between whether she was a minor or an adult and so on. And that's the woman who now the Democrats want to use as, I guess, their smoking gun against Trump. And here's just one more piece. Okay, one more thing about Giuffre. She published a posthumous memoir. She killed herself. She died by suicide.
I thought
was not involved in the ring of trafficking that Epstein was working. That is why the Democrats redacted the name Virginia Giuffre from this alleged smoking gun email.
100%. And all of this is why I am against the release of the full Epstein files. I understand the arguments for it. Don't give the Democrats the power to make these ridiculous redactions. But at the same time, Megyn, as you point out, Alan Dershowitz did not recover from that fully. There are still people out there who think he is a pedophile, despite the fact.
I don't think it's proved otherwise.
That she was forced by court to recant that. And so how many other names are in there of people who are completely innocent, but whose lives will be destroyed when this tranche of documents, some of them written by Epstein himself, a serial pedophile, a terrible person whose word should not be trusted or worth anything.
She'd get real angry and worked up.
When that gets out there, I just feel that in the court of public opinion, there are people who will be judged and will never be able to defend themselves despite being totally innocent, kind of in the way that Trump is now being smeared. Now, we can say, look, this is all like obvious nonsense. He obviously didn't do anything. There's no evidence there. But there will always be people who believe that he did do something because of all of this, just like there are still people who watch the mainstream media. Just yesterday, Megyn, someone said to me, well, he did say find people on both sides about neo-Nazis.
Oh, Lord.
It's 2025 and they still believe that. This is like a mainstream.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had it lined up. Okay, let's keep going, ladies.
I understand protecting children. I totally understand protecting the identities of children. But like, honestly, even just the whole wide net that prevents sexual assault accusers from being named is strange to me. I'm sorry. I definitely don't want them re-victimized. I've talked to countless numbers of women who are in this boat, but these guys have the right to confront their accuser. And in today's day and age where we do trial by media, they have the right to have the name out there.
Says Megyn. Firing everybody.
So people can assess a person's credibility. It's just a question of basic fairness. Let's keep going on the two other emails. Let's go back to tiny little Lilliputian font.
I'll just say very quickly, Megyn, some of the victims, according to Michael Tracy's reporting, don't want their names out there because they settled for millions of dollars, okay? So, you know, there's another piece of this as well.
Right.
Oh, let's just laugh about girls. These women are terrible. They're terrible. They're terrible. They're terrible. Keep going, ladies.
The Jeffrey Epstein money train was no question an allure to many women who may or may not have been caught up in his disgusting behavior. I mean, we'll never.
Oh, Megyn, come on. Talking about money when you just took $15 to $20 million from Sirius to peddle out this nonsense, girl. Come on. How do you have the shame to say that?
Or no, but there was a period there where they were doling out money like it was candy to any woman who came forward and could prove that she had some relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. That doesn't mean they were all victims.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so here's another one. This is December 16th, 2015. I think that says 16. We'll start with, December 15th, Tuesday, December 15th at 8 p.m. And this is from Michael Wolff, the author. He wrote to Epstein.
He's very angry.
This is when Trump was running for the nomination.
Okay, let's see if we can speed this a little bit along. Come on, ladies.
Gross. We knew that yesterday. We'll know it tomorrow. And by the way, we'll know it especially tomorrow. And that's all I'm going to say. We have a bit of a tease for what's coming up on this show, making good on a promise I made to the audience long ago on Epstein. But in any event, here he is giving PR advice. I mean, whatever. He's not a good guy. I'm sure Jeffrey Epstein needed PR advice by this point in his life, and I'm sure somebody was going to provide it to him. But that's what Wolf was doing, trying to get leverage over the possible next president of the United States. It all came to nothing, but this has got Trump's critics salivating. And then I'll just read you the last one, which is the most recent exchange. This is now from 2019, which is when Epstein got arrested. This is from Epstein to Michael Wolff, January 31st.
All right, Megyn, carry it along.
Knew, which is, it's been reported that the reason he asked Epstein to stop coming to Mar-a-Lago was because he would hit on the daughters of the members. Like that was like out there reported. So I don't see how this is incriminating at all. It suggests that Trump, like you said, knew that Jeffrey Epstein liked them young and didn't approve of it. So we don't know when Jeffrey was talking about in that moment. So I don't really see this.
Right.
And honestly, I think Trump's instincts are so spot on about this, because to me, it seems like all of the energy around the Jeffrey Epstein files is really coming from Democrats who hate Trump and hate Trump voters. And then people who are in the content business, for whom before Trump was elected, this was a really big topic.
Like these two ladies aren't in the content business. Did they? And it's just astounding to me. I guess it's astounding. All right, keep going, ladies. Keep burying yourself in here.
Generated a lot of interest from people. But now that Trump is the president, if you look at public opinion polling of Republicans.
Hold on, let me check the chat every time, because I have to switch around. Evil. I know, they're so bad. I don't know. It might just be you and I left, Miss Catherine. Ever since I kind of lost the where we are on this video. All right. I thought I had anyway. Let's keep going, ladies.
They're just not that interested in this. And I think Trump just feels like he can ride this out, and why feed it? Because it's only his enemies making hay out of it. And the mainstream media just does not have that same power that it used to have. Megyn, you have all that power now to set the agenda. So I think that's kind of maybe how he's seeing it.
That's scary.
Yep. I mean, I understand that rationale. Just for the record, Trump has said he stopped speaking to Epstein because Epstein stole workers from Mar-a-Lago's spa. Now, that is what happened with Virginia Giuffre. Virginia was a worker in the Mar-a-Lago spa, and Jeffrey.
All right, Megyn. I don't know how you sleep at night.
Epstein did steal her to go work for him. So Trump is saying that's why. He's not leaning into he was sniffing around young girls, and so I told him he had to leave Mar-a-Lago story. There's another story that he broke up with Epstein because they were buds. There's no question they were very close for more than 10 years, which is what makes me believe Trump was on the Epstein plane and at Epstein's house. Of course, they were very good friends. But there's another story that Epstein took Trump to go see a property with him that Epstein was thinking of buying out of bankruptcy, and he wanted Trump to advise him on the property, and instead of advising him, Trump bought it. He bought it out from under Epstein. So I don't know why they broke up, but we're having to relive all of this nonsense because there's a number of reasons why. Because Trump and several Trump acolytes have made a very big deal out of Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, I don't think you can absolve Trump of that at all, Batya. It's like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel were the two top Epstein, theory pushers. I don't call it a conspiracy theory because they might have very well been onto something, that there was a cover up of Epstein. And then that's why it was so shocking when Trump got into power and then said, what story? What are you talking about? This is a nothing burger.
All right, let me move him along. Let me see where they have to come into this poll. Hold on.
A genuine search for truth, which I think Republicans really wanted, into just a political weapon.
All right. Let me see where this poll, where I thought I got the part of the transcript where they were going to talk about the thing. Sorry about that. I thought I had it all lined up, and maybe I hadn't. Hold on. I keep seeing it. the word children, and then it's not about that. It's something else to do with something to do with oh, for goodness sake, about the young girls. Okay, here it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's right here. Okay, we got it. All right, just hold on to your horses, everybody. I've found the shocking part. All right. We'll take it from here. Sadly, we'll take it from minute 29. All right, am I at minute 29 here? Yes. Oh gosh, it just gets worse. I just can't. These ladies, their internalized misogyny and just all of it, it's terrible. And in my opinion, Alan Dershowitz, he's been a dodgy character ever since he supported the Klaus Van Bülow and the Van Bülow case, in my opinion. You don't know how she sleeps at night either? Thank you, Catherine. And thank you for joining me on this stream. There might just be you and I at this point. The fact that she doesn't look like she eats anything. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you get angry when you get hungry. She said these two women are very angry. You know, I don't know who they're angry with, but they're angry.
Like, yes, we heard a story about him possibly going backstage into the dressing room at least once.
Oh,
not great, not particularly shocking given.
But, you know, I'm still okay with it. And it's just not shocking when we think about what a dirty dog Donald Trump is. Ladies, come on. I have, you know, my thoughts.
How Trump was when he was younger, but we have not seen
Younger,
some
he was
slew
like
of young women
40.
come forward to say, me too.
Megyn, the man was like in his 40s or 50s at the time. Stop making the this is the stuff I just can't believe, man. This is no women. Come on, you need to stop apologizing for this crap. Pardon my French. I can't say any bad words. YouTube will demonetize me. But Megyn Kelly get $15 to $20 million on SiriusXM for saying her just internalized misogyny all day long. If I actually try to defend women, though, oh my gosh, I'm a screaming woke. You know, just because I don't want women treated this way, because it's not right. It's disturbing. And they end up taking their lives early. And then you get these cackling witches. These two women are disgusting in my mind. I don't care. You're both disgusting.
On Donald Trump molesting them or having paid for sex with them when they were barely legal or otherwise. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, in fact, at that same press conference, the lawyer for a group of the women actually said Jeffrey Epstein would prey upon women when they were underage, true and disgusting and horrible. And then the lawyer said, and when they came of age and he was no.
Does she really look like she believes that's true, disgusting, and horrible? I don't know who this lady is, but whoa, girl, you're broken in so many different ways. You know, you really got like issues with other women in a way that's kind of disturbing and sad. Megyn, I know you just hate yourself on a daily basis, girl. I don't care how much makeup you try to put on that pig. It's just you're always going to be hating yourself in one way or another. $15-20 million. You know what? I guess that pays for a lifelong prescription to an antidepressant.
Longer interested in them, he would then pass them on. So there was no pedophilia ring. There was a pedophile who did unspeakable things to vulnerable girls, and then they would age out of Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilic interests, at which point he would then start to pass them around to his friends, meaning that there were not actual crimes committed by anybody beyond. There's no pedophile ring. There's a pedophile and then a bunch of friends who were getting massages at that point from.
Oh, yeah, really? Is that the internalized misogyny message that you've been told to tell the world? This is what you've been told to tell the world. Now, I wanted to, I did obviously one of the good parts of me showing the rest of this podcast and not just highlighting just this section is you could just, I want to make sure they get a real fair shake at what they needed to say. Because these are just two stellar human beings that I'm so glad I share the planet with. Because it's not anything to even do with politics. It's just the seeming disdain that these two women have for other women make me feel the need to say, even with my minute platform, I understand. And obviously I haven't slapped on my witchy eye makeup or lacquered my face down in order to present myself here. Because I don't care to have to live the patriarchal dreams of what I should look like if I need to appear on a camera. These women are broken. What do you think, Catherine? You have issues with both of them? Thank you, Sammy. Thank you. Come on in and join me, girl. I've got issues with both of them too. But I wanted to make sure we got to see how terrible they are, because after this, where they're going to start worrying about protecting people from, transgender folk in the toilets, the kids. This is why you love me. Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, I'm having issues with these people. I have issues with these ladies, especially. And I think Catherine has issues with them too. And I think if you're a woman who doesn't have issues with these women, girl, you're broken. Okay? I don't think you could be fixed either. And I'm sorry, you just can't. And I have decided that I just can't anymore with this. And I wish I could swear the way I want to. And then she out here with her Star of David. And if Megyn Kelly could get the big old cross on too, she'd be wearing that as well, because you got to have the religious symbols hanging there.
Women who were no longer underage. This is from the lawyer at that press conference. So I think that kind of dispels a lot of the salaciousness of the story. People are like, where is the justice for the victims? The justice is one of the people who did unspeakable things to them died in prison, and the other one is still in prison. So they got their justice, and the whole ring idea.
That sounds like justice. And this woman doesn't want to lose a paycheck. I guess her boss is in the letters too, allegedly. Or the files. Allegedly.
Yeah, I think has been wildly blown out of proportion for these political reasons.
I don't know about ring, but there are definitely a couple of very well-connected people who have not been brought to justice. I'm not going to repeat the names here, but one of them is a very, very successful business owner. No, I don't want to get sued, but one of them is a hugely successful business owner who seems to be a bit of a pervert, and his name is all over the papers. His connections to Epstein are very, very well known. They were connected financially. They were connected as friends. And I want to know more about him. There's plenty who I want to know more about who have been publicly linked to Epstein and seem to have dodged responsibility. That's my own take on it. It's not that I'm not referring to secret names only I know. I'm talking about names that are in the paper. But again, without hardcore proof, you shouldn't say their names because you don't know whether they're true. But people know the names. We've heard them many, many times. Anyway, I do think there are some who are so well connected.
It's just not Trump. Because even though Trump was supposedly Epstein's best friend, he's not included. He just liked young girls, in the changing rooms. These women, it's been just astounds me.
Or did such a good job of hiding their tracks that they'll never be facing real charges. As for Epstein, I've said this before, which is
Says Megyn, he supposedly went to law school, Albany Law School. Well done. You really turned out good attorneys. You should be proud. This woman is a remarkable face of your school. So Albany Law School, congratulations for graduating Megyn Kelly, because she's a real stellar, stalwart individual.
As a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not.
Megyn Kelly paid $15 to $20 million by SiriusXM to be a gossip. Just listen to the gossip here, guys. This is the important part, because this is where, you know, I don't know if Megyn Kelly is a Christian nationalist or what side of the conservative aisle she falls under, or, you know, what go on like that. But she's definitely getting some handmaiden stuff being handed out here. She's definitely Margaret Atwooded herself up, and she is handmaiden tailing, and she's going to throw out some gossip about this person who we don't know who it is, you know, but supposedly they have a judgment of what barely legal is and stuff. And, you know, Megyn, who was an attorney, you'd think she would know the law, but no, it's something that she doesn't know. She doesn't know. Albany Law School. Is Albany Law School a community college? It should be, if they're handing out degrees to people like Megyn Markle. It's not Harvard by a long shot, sis. Well, that's where old Megyn got her law degree, and then she became the media sensation that she is now. And this person, this is the part that we've all been waiting for, guys. Take it away, Megyn. Try to mental gymnastics the Jesus out of this one.
Not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right. Let me remind everybody, because Sammy's in here now, what a 15-year-old girl looks like. Megyn, you have a daughter who's 14, by the way. You have a 14-year-old daughter. Okay. Just to show what, let me make me bigger here for a second. Can I make me bigger? I can't make me. I gotta take rid of me. Can I make me bigger? Oh, hold on. Let me bring me next to this. There we go. That's me at like 13 doing some sort of nativity thing with my dog, or 14. So that was real mature, you know. So, you know, that shows the level of maturity of a child. Let me see. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Just to remind everybody how mature a 15-year-old is. 15. I had just literally had just turned about 15, right? I'm so good with the camera. Here I am, 15. Very mature, Megyn. That's a mature 15-year-old. That's barely legal, which is not what barely legal means. And you know that, Megyn. Barely legal means you just turned the age of consent in that particular state. Now, some states all got some young ages of consent, like 16. But I do believe there is some sort of caveats between 16 and then what age difference between that and the actual age of the other consenting partner. You know, community colleges don't award law degrees. They don't even award bachelor's degrees. I think we were just making fun of the law school that I think we were just being facetious about the type of law school that Megyn Kelly attended. Albany Law School, stellar educational institution, handing out degrees to Megyn Markle. Megyn Markle, sorry, Megyn Kelly. Megyn R. Kelly. Megyn R. Kelly over here. All right, Megyn R. Kelly. Take it away with your explanation of what statutory rape should be.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed. And that was what
when that person said that to you, Megyn, you didn't push back? You didn't say, oh my God, that sounds disgusting? You just were like, oh, Oh, internalized misogyny. What's my name again? I can't stand these women. I cannot stand these pick me bitches. I'm sorry. I just can't. I would, if I really sometimes wish the real me could come out on this YouTube channel, because promise you, I'm not always polite, but I am a registered nurse, so I do need to keep a modicum of professionalism. The things that I would like to say about these two individuals would probably not get me past YouTube censorship. Especially, I mean, both of them are just creepy and disgusting. I'm going to try to keep it as best as I can with proper language in order to describe how reprehensible and foul these biatches are. Because any women who even tries to defend these two, I don't care what side of the political aisle you sit on, you're disgusting as well. This isn't about politics. This is about these two handmaidens over here just like barfing out internalized misogyny. And we as women, we shouldn't be putting up with this any longer. You know, this is disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm not going back any further. I already feel like, you know, anything that we have done, it just keeps getting knocked back. And I'm sick of these bitches being part of it. Can't stand them. Sorry. I can't.
Reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it.
And these two biatches are going to throw, and I don't care for Pam Bondi, but they're going to throw her under the bus now too, because they got to set this up, because Megyn's getting a shite ton of money from somebody to set all this up. And barely legal? What are you talking about? I don't know what mental gymnastics she had to go through to get to that, you know, a 15-year-old who somehow looks like a 13-year-old, which is what I looked like at 15. But yet, if somebody saw me walking past, I suddenly magically would look 19 or 18 in a month, because that's barely legal. Barely legal is you just barely had your 18th bloody birthday. That's what barely legal means, Megyn. Not 15 looking 13, but passing as 18 to a complete stranger. What the bejesus? I had such a young looking face that when I got married at 24, people thought I was 17. Okay? If I showed you the picture of me at the time I got married, around that time, you'd be shocked at how young I looked. And my frontal lobe still not fully developed. So any type of like inappropriate behaviors that could have come across from some creepy dude like a Jeffrey Epstein type, to Jesus. But these women are so disgusting that they just assume that any girl who's not from their type of financial or class stratus is not worth anything. They're just garbage to these bitches' minds. Well, you know what, girls? You're fucking garbage to me. Pardon my French. Who gives a shit? I'm not going to get monetized on this fucking video anyway.
Kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material.
You know what? How dare you minimize stuff like that? She has no soul. You're right. She really does. She has no soul. These bitches have no souls. Neither of them. Oh, the one on the other side is just as vapidly nasty and disgusting as Megyn Kelly is. And I'm sorry, guys. I have got to let this stuff be said. You know, I'm sorry. And thank you for listening to my TED Talk on this one. Because I think as women, if we continue to accept this, and you know what? I'm tired of these bitches calling me woke. You bitches are disgusting. You're nasty and you're vile. You're part of internalized misogyny, and you're part of the problem of patriarchy. And I don't care which ways to Sundays. You try to dress it up in your religious symbols, and you talk. Can't stand you. Jose, it sounds like you would have liked an 8-year-old, but he would have to stick with girls who looked 18. They didn't even look 18. To a stranger, they supposedly looked 18. But to Jeffrey, they were 15 looking like 13, supposedly. You know, because he liked them young. It's just nasty and it's disgusting. And I don't care what side of the political aisle. I would call every single one of them out. I don't care. I don't care. I think we had assumptions that the Department of Justice was actually handling this, not having people like Pam Bondi being the attorney general down in Florida and sweeping Epstein's shite under the carpet. Then, I mean, these are some pick me, the worst type of women. See women like this, girls, you know what to do. Run. Don't talk to these people.
On his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him.
Do you believe that either of these two women seem credible in your mind? Because they have a large platform, Miss Kelly with her $15 to $20 million SiriusXM deal. Oh, she just feeling herself, you know? She just signed that contract on October the 25th. So if any of you have Sirius subscriptions and you think that you don't want your money to go to this vile human being, just cancel your subscription. Get rid of it. I mean, I know it's hard if you have a show you like on Sirius, but sometimes, you know, doing hard stuff sucks. And sometimes it sucks even more for victims of SA, especially when you have these types of women, you know, belittling people. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. And I'm so glad that many of you think that she does not have a soul. And that you joined me today and you let me go off on just this Megyn R. Kelly over here. And I also want to think, I also want to blame SiriusXM. I mean, I understand that you're supposed to be having like a two sides of the aisle. Oh, let me just do this type platform, and I can appreciate that. But when you've got another side and they're promoting just some, and because later on in this particular podcast we get some bigotry, we get some racism, we get some transphobia. I mean, we just get everything. I mean, Megyn she's victimizing victims again. I mean, she's throwing out the internalized misogyny. She's shaming women. I mean, she is just getting her full $15 to $20 million pay packet from whatever, you know, sugar daddy from the CEO corporations, because that's, you know, what she wants. That's what she wants. Gen X says, I worked for a newspaper when I was in college. A guy came in wanting to place an ad for actors for health films. Oh, dear. They needed to be 18 but look younger. I went to the publisher with that one. You know what, Gen X? I'm glad you did. And I'm tired of I've just kind of gotten to a place where I just, you know, I don't want to go backward on this stuff. I mean, there's so many incidences of women being victimized by people in positions of power, primarily men and females, but really young people, and just always in the movies and stuff. It's just, I'm tired of seeing like 50-year-old dude with 30-year-old chick. I'm sick of it. I don't think that power dynamic is anything that really is healthy. Generally, they have issues once, you know, the sort of, you know, once the man gets a little, like, definitely up a little bit older, and then, you know, they're being like an old person and wanting to be like old person speed, and the other person's still like a young person. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Don't know why we keep normalizing it. It's glamorized. I think it's just not even appropriate. I think this woman is, I don't know how she's not going to lose her platform. She's going to make $15 to $20 million. She's not going to apologize. SiriusXM isn't going to get rid of her. And nothing's going to get done. And these people are going to continue to come out here and say nasty, despicable things and try to justify why 15-year-old girls should be hooking up with really much older people. And the fact that they are trying to, it just we know what they're up to, you know. And I think that the fact that they think we're all blindly stupid and not seeing that, I don't care what, I believe that these people that are in these particular documentates are either side of the political aisle. I don't think it's about politics. And I think that's where Megyn Kelly is disgusting, because I think they are turning something into a political issue. That wasn't a political issue. They've turned it into a political issue. Most of the people that had been wanting to see the Epstein files are people that are currently serving in Trump's cabinet, as they pointed out. And it just seems to me that you're going to bring your enemies closer, you know, as they say. You know, you have your friends close, but your enemies even closer. So I think that if people had felt that these people who were shouting the loudest about things were the enemies, then they're going to bring them closest into the fold and obviously to silence them. It's pretty obvious. And yet these people think nobody's intelligent enough to work that one out. Just, you were only 22. I was only about 22. My boss was at lunch. Everyone was gone. I was scared, but I went to the publisher's office and knocked on his door. I knew this ad was not legitimate and it was small, but that's okay. And I'm glad you reported it, you know, because it probably wasn't. You might have actually done something to have protected somebody who was vulnerable from a real creep. So I would never feel bad about it. You know, calling out creeps is not something that we should be not teaching people to do. We should be calling out creeps all day. And that's why I don't like these types of biatches trying to make victims feel like they could never speak out, because they have done everything. And these two, hey, how much did Alan Dershowitz pay for you? Why would you be protecting Alan Dershowitz of all the creeps on the planet? I mean, honestly, they must be so scared of that man. In my opinion, Alan Dershowitz, I don't need to know what he does. Just to me, he gives me the creeps. You can't sue me for someone giving me the creeps. Not scared of these people. I just don't care. I've already had to fight Boring Tim. Anyway, guys, I just appreciate you taking the time to, you know, let me just kind of, it was a small town. It's a small town about an hour from Los Angeles, probably at 45K. Young people want to be, yes. Oh, absolutely. And there's so many stories that we've heard of these people being taken advantage in an essay, others who sadly have lost their lives. So yeah, I mean, these are things that are legitimately concerning. You have a right to be concerned. Look younger than I just, you know, I don't want to have these people try to push an agenda where they are normalizing the inappropriate relationships between older men and younger teens, in this case, teen girls, 15 and younger, in order to try to set a new standard when it's revealed who is involved with what and what were the age of the people. It's like when you need to have this, when they talked about, you know, the fact that the Democrats weren't happy with a unanimous vote in the Congress about releasing the Epstein files, the reason being is that it would hide the names of who said yes and who said no to the opening of that files. And I think it is important to people in the electorate to know who is supporting not wanting to release the names of people who potentially could be harming children. I think anybody who's trying to do anything because they're more concerned about their positions of power and their money and, you know, all of these things, and not wanting to upset the apple cart as far as what is the current status quo in our political and, geopolitical and power structures, I think is just absolutely abhorrent. And any of these puppets, and Megyn Kelly is one of the biggest puppets out there. This is not a woman with her own individual thought or mind. This is a woman who is being told this is the agenda that you are going to sell to the public, and you better put this out here. And she gets to, do her little snarky shit that she was doing. That woman, seriously, I would like to personally have a conversation with her. I would have to probably try to hold my tongue. And I would like to actually would take it to her, because I want to see exactly who are all the people in Congress who are voting to keep the files closed because they feel that they need to protect the names of all these innocent people who seem to be hanging out with way too many young girls. I'm sorry. If it wasn't part of the fact that they were at a family party or some like school event where there just happened to be children involved in there, there's no reason for these disgusting. I just remember all those teen beauty pageants and stuff when I was a kid. And I remember my mother at the time wanted to get me into the modeling industry. Jesus, Lord of my life. And I was not interested at all. But my mother somehow was. And I just remember all those look of the year and all those things, just seeing like creepy Donald Trump. I remember all that, like dancing around all the teenage girls. It's creepy. We know it's creepy. It's creepy. It's creepy. It's a creep. It's a creep. It's a creep. It's an attempt at subtle manipulation, like Woody Allen's film. Oh, God. Woody Allen, another disgusting human being. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Batting away siren-type teenagers. Oh, I know. Like every 17-year-old girl just wants to have like some short little douche like what. So I really don't have a lot of respect for Diane Keaton. I'm sorry if anyone likes Diane Keaton. I have very little respect because she definitely was the pick-me of the century. At least in the 20th century. That creep public delivery went to a small town. Oh, I'm sure. If you didn't know his name, he's probably one of those guys that we've seen on Dateline NBC. The publisher put on his coat and came out on the front counter to deal with the guy himself. The guy actually stood there and debated with him. Oh, no. Well, then what happened? I got to know the story. So I should have told him it's a family newspaper. We have a duty. Oh, we are not just selling a space, which you can do with whatever you want. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys looked out for people because really there are some creeps out there, man. I mean, the internet just loaded with it. And we just don't need to have people with a huge platform. Megyn Kelly, 4 million subscribers. On this particular video alone, she would have had, and I don't know because this is her channel, what Sirius or what deals, but she's had 139,000 views almost on this. So just the money just from this. And then she even came out the next day with, new details about Epstein's associates and, Meghan Markle deleting something from our Kardashian event. So you really are going to come out here on your serious platform talking about victims of SA. And then you're going to talk about some Meghan Markle pictures getting deleted from a Kardashian party? Is that really your level of seriousness, lady? Because that's about the level of seriousness I get if I saw suddenly talking about Tim and his crappy blood work. And I have to say, OMG, Diane still went with Woody Allen with no problems. Yuck. Oh, yeah, a bunch of those actresses did. They're all yuck. I'm sorry. And I know they're doing it to protect their careers. And I know they do it because otherwise, probably a lot of them wouldn't get cast as, because these men are creeps. I should know. I was married to a creep who worked in the entertainment industry. Okay. I know how creepy they are because I was married to a creep. Okay. And this creep is now married to somebody who is much younger than he is. And when they started dating, there was a definite a definite imbalance of power between the two of them. especially even in their careers, as far as their professional careers. I mean, there's just so many of these groomers out there. I mean, there's just, and I'm sorry. I think as women, especially if we're smart women, we shouldn't just stand by and just let it keep continuing to happen. And if any of, women, are okay with this stuff, I'm sorry. I'm sad for you and your broken women. And I really do hope that you find yourself at the end of the day. That's the way I feel. Yeah, Mia Farrow did. Oh, absolutely. And I wish Charlotte Rampling was. She was great, but was amused. Oh, yeah, I'm so sick of being amused. Who wants to be amused at some dirty old dude? Yeah, and she was Charlotte Rampling. Oh, wasn't she? Who was the one? Oh, Ellen Birkin was with old, Serge Gainsbourg, who I think was pretty old when she hooked up with him. Oh, Jimmy Page had like a 14-year-old girl that oh my gosh. No, it's bad. It's all bad. I don't think any of us should be okay with it. I don't think we should let Megyn R. Kelly rest in peace on this one either. I mean, how this is not going to end this woman's career is astounding to me. And it's astounding to me that SiriusXM just signed this woman for like an almost $20 million contract, potentially, what I've heard. Oh my gosh. I just can't. And and I have even less respect for the women who, just always, there's still women who are okay with Roman Polanski in Hollywood. Jesus. All of them. They're terrible. What was up with me of collecting children? I was carried away that way one time. I thought it was the perfect truth. I mean, potentially she was trying to seek the family that she did not have because both of her parents were in the film industry. So I'm sure there's a relative amount of trauma. She also was somebody who was taken advantage of at a very young age by Frank Sinatra, of all people. So she's somebody who definitely has been probably pretty, I wouldn't want to be a female near any of that stuff. I think it's pretty, you're either going to be, you're going to sell your soul. You're selling your soul. It's too crazy. What's been going on for many years? Cyrus's host is disgusting. Oh, yeah. Well, Stern's finally going away. TG, thank God for that one. He's going away. What? Wow. Yeah. There's so many people that are just absolutely diabolical hot messes. Hot messes. There's so many, one of the worst ones, believe it or not, is Brad Pitt. Check out Brad Pitt and his inappropriate relationship with the young lady that he co-starred with on Dallas. And you'll be thinking a lot less about Brad Pitt. They're all pretty bad. Yeah, good old Frank served to a divorce, but yeah, Frank was pretty old and she was pretty young, and then she had famous parents. I'm sure her, and then she had to deal with Woody Allen. So I don't know if having so many children was a way to try to make for a family that she didn't have, some idealistic idea of creating a family, because she was married to Andre Previn, for a while. So, who knows, sometimes it could be substitution for what she didn't get in her childhood. I'm just, making remarks. I'm thinking potentially that would be revealing in therapy. If you think about who her parents were, growing up in the entertainment industry, just kind of, the way that people will be able to mental gymnastics, all sorts of stuff, like old Megyn R. Kelly over there. It's a pretty rough group. I mean, they romanticize Elvis Presley with a 14-year-old Priscilla Presley. And I mean, they romanticize a lot of these and say, oh, it's just the times and stuff. Like girls couldn't have themselves damaged, or were expected to grow up beyond their years, beyond really what their mental capacity was. And just the burden that we continue to put onto young women and girls, and I just wish we could move away from it. But when you hear somebody like this lady who has a 14-year-old daughter talking about other girls this way, I don't know how she could kiss her daughter goodnight, because she wouldn't let her daughter alone in a room with Donald Trump. You know it, or Roger Ailes. You're glad you don't live in the 60s, 70s New Zealand anymore? Panic and misogyny in the suburbs. Yeah, and doesn't New Zealand also have a very strange cult somewhere on the island that I was reading about? That New Zealand's got some weird cult going on. It's kind of strange. And I wanted to read about it, but I had to do some schoolwork. So unfortunately, I had to leave the topic. All right, guys. Well, I was just wanting to come out. We've been here for an hour and 30, so I don't want to take up. I'm just so happy to go live. I'm kind of figuring out, I guess, where the channel's going. I don't want to not do YouTube content. Obviously, I'm deep in school, and I'm about to try to get a little bit of schoolwork done before I'm halfway through these classes. So I'm looking forward to it. I just have noticed that Tim's numbers in his views have really dissipated. Are you okay? Roscoe, get down off. Hold on. Roscoe's on mommy's chair. Roscoe, come on. Down off of the chair, please. Come on. You've got 2 other chairs you can be on. You can't be on mommy's recliner. Yeah, no, not mommy's recliner. I hear one of them having a nightmare over there. The other dog is on my recliner. Like, he's got all these chairs. Roscoe getting naughty, man. He's such a sweet boy. But he's been bringing up his bones on the bed and doing stuff that he's not supposed to do. He's got an appointment to have his teeth taken care of on December the 4th. So, yeah. So, anyway. I know, just like, so, Glory Veil, is that what it is? Yeah, that's some weird stuff going on over there, girl. Don't think that other places don't have some strange going on. We've all got strange, but here in the United States, we just kind of win the strange awards sometimes. My gosh, the times that I'm living in at the moment, where Megyn Kelly out here trying to normalize 15-year-old girls with old men and defending Alan Dershowitz all day long. I mean, what a hill to die on. West Coast of South Island, costume designers of The Handmaid's Tale. Right, yes! Oh my gosh. Oh my God. When will women stop being subjugated like this? Please. And if anybody thought my 15-year-old picture, I was growing out my bangs, so I was in an awkward hair moment. I definitely hit the Aquanet in those days. A lot of it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, as far as my channel's concerned, I'm sort of, obviously I've been putting out some of these reactions to people just kind of doing some wild things in the healthcare facilities and stuff. Tim has just been really boring. His views have really crashed down. And I feel like a lot of the OG channels like myself and Darling and Atomic Sage and, Miss Vicky a little bit really haven't been talking about him lately. And I feel like his views are showing. And so I kind of like watching Tim's channel just kind of die a slow death. But I might give him an end of year review, or occasionally I thought about going live, but he's just such a liar about everything. Lying about his blood work, he's just so irritating to listen to, but his views have been bad. Like, all right, well, just really bad, really bad. So yeah. I'm kind of find, there was that one lady that, had the mental breakdown in the hospital, and there was no facility that was able to take her in as in the community service board, because there was no facility that would manage somebody her size, and she was quite a famous person. So I almost thought about talking, because it got wild at the end. But she really was going through like a mental health crisis. So I don't know if I really want to highlight that one. But yeah, so we're trying to figure it out over here. But I do appreciate you guys joining me tonight. And I don't even know if it stayed monetized, because I ended up cussing about Megyn Kelly at the end. Oh, well, who cares? I needed to talk about these ladies. Both of them. And I just love it at the end, because we had to set the tone, before we got into the part where they got really bad. Oh, Chantel. Oh, Chantel looks great lately. You know what? I had one of her beezers come into my chat, and not my chat, but left me a message and saying that they wish I would get back on and talk about her health, because she'd not been doing well lately. And my response was, she'll figure it out. Like, because she's, of course, now too cheap. I might go into that conversation. That might be a fun one to get into. I might do a year review of Chantel or something. I'm thinking about doing some year-end reviews on these people, because I'm still working with my editor, obviously. But I'm trying to sort of think, because I would like to talk about more current topics of interest in health and social media, and not necessarily always focus around. But I did see Glitters and Lasers was doing some more interesting things. So sometimes the characters are interesting, and sometimes the topics are interesting. And so I guess trying to talk about other things that if they come up, like this one, because this is about Strawberries probably said that. Oh, what? The one that came to me? Oh, no, it was another one. I'm just not trying to let them be known, because I'm trying to keep that in case they want to come back around, because it's amusing for me to see her beezers just come in and ask me to give Chantel free medical help and advice. Chantel will figure it out. She looks fantastic, and she just looks, her mental health is just doing fantastic. She's really not struggling at all. And she's just doing great. So I watch her through other channels primarily. So I might swing around just for the end of the year. Maybe we'll hit up some favorites. Maybe we'll just give a farewell to Tim. I don't really want to call it a farewell to Tim, though, just in case I cruise around if he does anything interesting. But like I said, seeing like some of his car wash videos get 700 views and stuff was enjoyable. He's really killing his audience. He's getting like 1,800 views and stuff. So he's, I think people are just tiring of his same shtick. Even the reaction channels are. You saw that, Catonic? Have me back. Yeah, I had to come back on this one. This was too much for me. I was seething inside. And I do want to get live sometimes. I sometimes I feel like I've been very busy. I haven't really had the energy. I should be working on a paper right this minute. So I need to get on with that. Well, I'm glad I'm cracking everybody up. I know these two hypocrites tonight. I just couldn't take these two hypocrites over here. I mean, yeah, could we all like slap on our makeup and, we could all dress up and pontificate about how heinous we are all night long, couldn't we, Roscoe? I mean, these people, I seriously, I just, having worked with people who've been assaulted, it's just to hear her disdain for people and try to just, I think ever taking the side when this I mean, when you know this young girl came from very depressed backgrounds and was trafficked to places like the UK, and you just are trying to just defame this person, it's a really bad look. And I wish it would continue to be a bad look. And I wish there would be more people who would be like disgusted by these people's behavior. But the fact she still sits at 4 million subscribers on YouTube is sad. But then again, I guess it's a way to identify, if you could see who the subscribers are, who the creeps are, who to avoid. You wouldn't trust. All right, guys, don't forget to give me a like. If I don't see you guys before the holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Whoa. And hopefully I will get up. I'm going to try, like I said, I'm trying to figure it out. I still want to obviously do my health and social media topics and talk about interesting things. I don't think the reviews of the cop videos have been going great. I've enjoyed making a commentary because I like talking about what would happen to a nurse's license if she had a DUI. I felt that was interesting because everyone's just like assumes that people just lose their licenses. And I don't think that people realize that, no, they don't necessarily lose their license, unless the police, makes a position to the board about her behaviors. But otherwise, these people could keep their licenses. Anyway, all right, guys. I appreciate you. And we'll catch you on the next one. Happy holidays. Bye. Nice to see everyone.